This is Imani. Emaneediorrr.
Thank you.
Imani, the main character energy is enough. Leave the narration to me.
My bad. Go ahead.
Thank you. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, moved out at 18. Financial instability, emotional damage, 3 suitcases and a matcha in hand.
It wasn't that bad.
Our delusional queen.
Whatever.
Let's recap the last few months, shall we?
Minus a couple hours before we're back in the biddy. Sit up here and see me. Alright, so the lighting is going to be kind of like mellow, kind of low-key. The point of this video is supposed to be very like, we're going to do a face mask. I have my little cafe con leche right here. You know, the vibes are just going to be very subtle and very quiet. And the reason we're filming this right now is because I did already film this video. I only had to do it one time, but I filmed this video while I was still in New York, as I was getting ready to go somewhere, and it wasn't even intentional. Like, I was filming it, and then I just started like getting into it. Like, I started getting into the story time, like I started getting into everything, and it was just like mad emotional. Like, I'm crying every 5 seconds. Like, please relax. Like, it's never that serious.
Oh my god, it's not funny.
I'm glad I'm in a place where I can finally refilm this video and not feel the need to cry for the next 30 minutes. That's kind of how I felt the first, like, everything was happening. It was mad emotional. I feel like when I was telling the story time, like, it was all over the place. So yeah, we're here filming our video. I don't know what I'm gonna title this video. It's gonna be some wacky stuff. Like, I moved out at 18 and failed miserably. All caps. But so yeah, we in the cut with it right now. Y'all probably gonna think that y'all getting a vlog when I post this, because I posted a countdown to my video, a countdown for a video, and y'all was like, oh my god, a new vlog, yada yada. The whole time is this vlog. I don't know when the other video's gonna come out. I think it might be the first week of June, that Friday. I don't know yet. I'm almost done with it. So yeah, we just got the shower. Everything's looking sleek, very clean. I'm in my white robe. Y'all haven't seen me in a white robe forever because it was literally a point where I got a white robe and I lived in it. No panties, just white robe. But we just hopped out the shower. I just sprayed a little bit of this. A cafe con leche. We're about to do a face mask. The vibes are just very chill, very like, you know. By the way, y'all know I don't ever steer y'all wrong. My mom got me this the other day when we was at Ulta. It was $16. The best smelling spray forever. Like, I've been loving like clean smells, for especially for the summertime. Like, no vanilla. Like, I actually don't want to see vanilla inside. Top 10, not 2. About to get into our little bag and just kind of like get ourselves together somewhat, and also touch on a few topics for this video. So as y'all can see, we're not in New York right now. We're in Florida, which is my old room. If y'all are new here, I moved out by myself when I was 18 years old, back to the East Coast, aka New York. I feel like the intro of this video needs to be able to cover a little bit of everything without giving out too much. But I decided to go off a whim and move back to the East Coast. When I was 18, I'm 19 years old now, so a lot has changed, kind of, sort of, not really, you know. So like I was saying, we have our cafe con leche, we have a face mask, we have quite a bit of questions to get through, and the goal of this video is not to cry, because I'm gonna put clips in from the last one. Y'all know I'm quick to cry. Like, I'm such an emotional being, especially at this age. Like, I just cry about everything. But the goal is not to cry. We're not gonna cry. I feel like we kind of headstrong right now, so we don't need to cry about nothing. And discuss the matters of the council for today. So I wanted to have some questions to kind of guide this video, and I don't want to take longer than 2 minutes on each thing, because that's when I start getting sidetracked. That's when I start getting all that kind of stuff. Like I said, if y'all are new here, I moved out when I was 18, back to the East Coast. My parents live in Florida. All of us raised, born in the East Coast, whatever, moved. I left when I was 18 with 3 paychecks and a hope and a dream and a Bible. Amen. But no, all jokes aside, we're gonna get into a few things. Y'all could literally watch that whole series. I only dropped 2 videos, and I know y'all like, damn, 4 months went past and you only dropped 2 videos. I know you out there struggling. I'm not gonna lie, I was. Not for fake, I was. The first question we have here is, what originally brought you back to move by yourself, and what were you hoping to find or become? The reason I wanted to move was because, just to be quite honest, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, especially the time frame that I moved, I feel like I had a lot going. When I say I had a lot going, I feel like I had a lot going. I moved only a couple of months, not even a couple, I would say like 4 or 5 months after I graduated high school, which was last year if y'all don't know. So I literally moved like, I don't want to say pretty quickly, but pretty quickly. Number one, like I was saying, I was born and raised in the East Coast, so there's always kind of like, you know, you could take person out the East Coast, but you can't take the East Coast out the person. And I genuinely felt like as I got older, like I definitely saw that, you know, surrounded my whole life. And my mom was born and raised also, my father was. My uncles, my aunts, my cousins, yada yada. So I feel like it was constantly around me. Like although I left, it never really like left me, if that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining that right. I always wanted to go back. I had my favorite cousin in the East Coast, and I had my 2 best friends now. At the time, they were like, you know, we were still like best friends, but I feel like we didn't really go through anything to really like test our friendship. It was kind of on some, we were still enjoying just calling each other best friends and yada yada. And they live in New York, they live in the Bronx, if y'all don't know. Shout out to Naya and Jaji. They will be mentioned throughout the video, so that's why I don't feel like really feeling the need to really harp too much. I was saying I have family on my father's side, I have family on my mother's side. That like New York, Jersey kind of, does that make sense? Yeah, okay. My last 3 months of my senior year, I don't want to say I went through like a traumatic thing. I don't, now looking at it, I feel like it was a lot. That was definitely like a challenging emotional thing that I went through, but to say that was the worst thing I've ever been through, definitely not. And I'm not even gonna give that situation too much grace or like give that situation too much like power of like speaking on it, but essentially I just went through I don't know. So I just got stabbed in the back when it came to a friend of mine, like a very close friend of mine, with somebody I cared about deeply. That kind of started like a cycle of things. Like I feel like that wasn't the first situation. Like I feel like I genuinely had to take some time after that situation to like kind of regroup. I was graduating high school at the time, so I also feel like I didn't have time to, because it was kind of like, all right, you don't have time to really like get through this. Once you graduate, you got to get yourself together. So I went through a lot of situations. I'm gonna sum it up because this is how I feel like I see myself on left field. With saying that I really left because I felt like a lot of people took from me. And if you watch my moving series, I mentioned the same thing. I think in a lot of ways, the people that I surrounded myself with, friendship wise, relationship wise, and you know, just in general, I feel like they were taking so much from me in the sense of like I really didn't have no kind of idea of what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be. And I was kind of like, damn, y'all took a lot from me. I'm gonna get up and go do something with myself. And that was, you know, going back to the East Coast, because that's always something I've always wanted to do. Like ever since I was younger, was just go back. At any chance that I got to visit like in New York or Jersey, I was always, you know, jumping the gun to go see my family or every little situation. So you know, obviously when I was at that age, I realized like, damn, I really do have a lot of free will. And I will say there's one thing, because I know I have younger people on here that especially watched that video and was kind of like, well, if you could do it, I'm gonna do it. Let me tell you, I failed miserably. When I say I failed miserably, I failed miserably. So, and I'm gonna tell y'all why I failed miserably. I took 3 paychecks from a normal 9-to-5 job. And I think I took some money from a sponsorship, a net 90 to be specific. And that kind of helped me in the long run because it was like unexpected. I kind of forgot about it. But, you know, I kind of left very unprepared. I literally left off a whim because the situation was that when I went back to New York in July, I came back on some like, I literally don't remember the time frame, but I was like, I'm telling my mom like, by this time I'm gonna go back to New York and I'm gonna move. Somehow, some way, like my mom kind of knew I wasn't prepared for it. So she, I don't want to say talked me out of it. She talked some sense into me, into a more logical plan on how to get back to New York. But it'd be a situation of like, okay, when you do go back, you could be a lot more prepared financially. And just like, you know, you'll have some experience under your belt. Like I was just freshly 18, freshly graduated. So, you know, I was off one, to be honest. So I don't remember what that time frame was, but it was definitely like, I don't know what the time frame was. I keep saying that because I think it's important. So essentially a couple months went into the plan. I think at this point we were like September, October. No, I was supposed to leave by December or November. I was supposed to leave in November. And my mom had a conversation with me like September, early October. Like we had a sit down conversation and she was like, do you feel like you're ready? You know, how much money do you have saved? And I was kind of just like, nothing, girl. I'm going with a stick and a poke. Like literally, like I was ready to just go. So, you know, she was like, you know, you could go to school, and I'm not going to really give up too much of my situation with school, but essentially, like, we benefit off of going to school in my household, so we literally make money to go to school. And she was just telling me that, like, at least to go for a semester and rack up as much as money as possible, and then go and do, you know, move and do it smartly. So for the longest time, I was kind of like, all right, I could do that. That's like one semester. That's literally a couple months. So I went from December to now May. So now, boom, November comes around. I'm like, still like something on my spirit just wouldn't. I remember this so vividly. I don't know why, but it didn't sit right with me. Like, it just wasn't like staying longer didn't sit right with me. I think also like a big part of the reason that I don't want to say my parents let me go, because number one, I was 18 at the time, and I don't want to say that's something that they don't play about, but it's definitely like, okay, you're 18, you have to experience that. I kept fighting my parents on it. Like I was like, I'm gonna go. I think I was like already like checked out mentally. Like I already knew I wanted to go. So when it came to being in Florida, like I literally got to a point where I didn't want to be around nobody. I wanted to save my money and go. Like I didn't care to be present in the moment. I didn't care to like talk to people in Florida no more. Like I was just like, I'm gonna go to New York and I'm gonna go see my people. Like what I'm saying with that is like I'm mentally checked out of like Florida way beforehand. So like I don't want to say it was harder to be like, no, I'm not going no more, or I'm waiting longer, but it definitely was. Like I told my mom, I was like, no, I'm still gonna go. And keep in mind, at this point I think we're in like late October, so I literally have like 1 month before I go, because I wanted to go before my 19th birthday, and I was 18 at the time. So I ended up leaving. Okay, cool. What was I gonna say? So yeah, I left December 10th, and that be very like the time frame be very specific, because like a lot of stuff happened at that time frame. But boom, I ended up leaving unprepared. Like I said, I literally left with 3 paychecks from the normal 9-to-5 job that I was working. Which also, yeah, there's nothing wrong with also, like I know that I get on social media and I be living my best life, and I do, like it's not fake for the camera. But you know, like at the time I was 18, I was working a normal job. I was still in high school at the time, and like I knew I wanted to leave. Like I was still in high school. I don't work a normal job no more. I do work for my parents. I know some of y'all gonna have questions about that. You know, at the time, like I was working degular, like minimum wage. Like I was just doing what I need to do. And also like I make money on social media, but it's not very consistent. And I said that before, if you're not consistent with social media, the money is not gonna be consistent for you either. You know, that was inconsistent for me. So like it wasn't reliable to be like, oh, I can move and be knowing that Fenty Skin is gonna freaking put me into an apartment. No, like no. So whatever, cool. Took 3 paychecks around this time frame. It's like November. It didn't really hit me that I was leaving until the night before. Like I started bawling. Like I was scared out my ass. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I was scared. But like I said, it didn't really hit me that I was leaving till the night before. So what I was trying to say was, see, this is how we get off topic. The reason I decided to leave was because I feel like I owed myself something, and I didn't really know how to pour back into myself in the sense of mentally or like physically. So I was kind of like, you know, you do want to go back to New York, so let it be a situation of give yourself that. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you feel like these people took so much from you, okay, give yourself something back. Move into your own apartment. Give yourself independence. Give yourself, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to give it back to myself. And I definitely feel like in that part, like, I could have given myself so much more, like, you know, different things. But I don't know why I fixated on going back to New York. But like I said, then again, I always kind of felt like my people were down here anyway, or in New York. So I kind of just was like, you know, I'm about to go. We about to have a time. So that's what I did. I ended up leaving December 10th, 2024. All right, so yeah, that was the reason. I was going through some stuff, and I kind of just wanted to, like, I don't want to say a quick way out, because it wasn't even a way out. It was more so like just feeling like I was giving myself something, and it kind of plays a part long term. Like I kind of realized like it really did break me to come back home, because I knew I was doing it just to give myself something, and I owed it to myself to do something for myself, and that's really what it was. After my yapping session, I don't know how long this video is gonna be. I hope it's not too long. But so the second question is, where was there a turning point where you felt like your stuff wasn't going as planned? Absolutely. I definitely feel like I didn't take it as serious. When I first got to New York, I was on some, like, I felt like I was on vacation. Like I was kind of like, you know, I took those 3 checks, and they wasn't weak checks either. Don't get me wrong, they wasn't weak checks, because I was working and hustling. But I took it like, yeah, I'm gonna get my nails done. Actually, I'm getting my lashes done. Like I don't know who I thought I was. Like you be trying to get yourself together, you get your lashes, your nails done, you should be looking like a homeless person, but you be in an apartment. I was thinking the opposite. I was kind of like, you know, like what's up? Like I'm going out to eat every other day. Like I'm cafe down. Like remember, it was around my birthday too, so like I'm buying designer. Like I'm still like out. Like what's up? And that I regret, because now I can sit here and say like, why would you do that? Like come on. A turning point for me would definitely be around the situation that happened to lead me to leave. And also just because like a lot of y'all didn't know, I mentioned it in the series, but like I was really like actively looking for work. I'm talking about my days were filled with LinkedIn and going to going to job interviews. So I was going to job interviews. Some of the jobs I was looking at, I didn't want to work a fast food job, and I worked a fast food job before. Don't get me wrong, I don't think I'm better than a fast food job. Like I said, when I was in high school, I worked one. If you know, you know. But I will say, like, I didn't feel like, I kind of felt like me moving and then getting a fast food job was kind of pathetic. And everybody around me was kind of like, if you gotta do what you gotta do it. And I'm kind of like, no. Like I was too prideful. Like I definitely was. Like I was like, nah, I'm not leaving and making this a whole YouTube series and TikToks and whatever to work at a fast food joint. Like no. So I definitely thought I was bigger than the program at the time. But I feel like if I definitely would have did one for, you know, X amount of time, I definitely could have got my feet a lot quicker. But you know, God has great ways of humbling people, and I definitely feel like I was humbled. I was saying, so some of the jobs that I was looking at, I was wanting to work at, I don't know if it was Polo Ralph Lauren or Ralph Lauren Polo. There's like 3 different stores. I'm not really too sure. And that was a job that I had an interview for, and I had really high hopes for. If y'all don't know, I did get a job at Saks Fifth Avenue. I don't remember if it was the Chanel section or the Bottega section, but it was kind of like freelance. So whatever I got, it was like, you will be a certain department. So keep in mind, y'all, it's so crazy because I kept getting denied for like jobs. And you know, Saks is not a normal job. I don't want to say not a normal job. It definitely is. But it's not like a easy job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the people that I did my interview, like, they absolutely loved me. They loved my personality. You know, I got vulnerable. I cried at my interview because I think that was like my 6th or 7th interview. I'm like, yo, I'm about to tweak. I got like $10 to my name in a Taco Bell coupon. Like, and also another thing, y'all, like, because I was doing it independently, and when I say independently, it's not like I was fully doing it by myself. If y'all don't know, the situation was I was staying with my cousin, who at the time got into another apartment. She had gotten into a new apartment. I was staying with my cousin. We haven't spoke since I left, you know, the East Coast when I was younger. But she was so quick to, like, you know, give me a spot to stay. And that's one thing I would never take away from this girl. Like, you know, we definitely took care of each other when needed. And we did have a situation that led me to leave. But I don't want to ever take that away from her. Like, if she ever were to watch this video or whatever, I don't feel the need to get on here and bash people, especially because I feel like God took me out of that situation and elevated me very slowly, but definitely surely. Like, obviously, I'm sitting in my room. I'm comfortable. There's so much to be grateful now, looking back at what I went through. So I don't feel the need to get on here and bash nobody besides the bitch that had me fucked up. Just kidding, let me stop. I was staying with my cousin, so she was working like, I don't want to say long hours, but definitely double shifts or whatever. So like, she would take me to my interview, she would do what she could. It's not like she just left me dry and hanging. Like, I definitely feel like she wanted that stability for myself as well, as much as I wanted it for me. So boom, like I was saying, I was applying for jobs. I wasn't really getting nowhere. I didn't get the Saks job until I left. I got a call literally 2 hours once my mom came and picked me up, and we'll get into that also. I'm literally on the way. Like, I just hit Virginia because we drove back. I hit Virginia and she called me. The girl was like, oh, you got the job. Like, we're offering you 40 blank hours. And I'm like, y'all couldn't call me yesterday when I'm like going through it. Like, come on. Like, I was so mad. But then again, I'm kind of glad. Like, you know, I feel like things work out in weird ways. So whatever God's plan was with that is whatever God's plan was with that. Definitely when I wasn't getting jobs is when I kind of felt like shit was turning. Wasn't going my way. I was, you know, relying on funds from little stuff, or like, you know, just wasn't like as stable as I normally was. And I'm not gonna sit here and say like I never struggled. Like, it, you know, I don't even feel the need to get on here and like really prove myself to the next person. But like, you know what I'm saying, my life is not always glitz and glibs, and it always never was. I've explained it before, like, you know what I'm saying, I grew up in the East Coast. My mom was a single mom, so my life wasn't always Chanel-y down and Louis Vuitton or whatever. And I don't want to say it's not now, because I do it for myself, but it never really was like that before. So I know me a struggle. Like, I knew how to struggle. I knew how to survive for the most part. And that's when I kind of felt like there was a turning point, was when I wasn't getting the jobs that I wanted to get. And I was becoming very like, I was becoming scared. Like, I really was scared. Like, I was like, bro, I don't know what I'm about to do. And I just really like feel like anybody who really held me down in that time, you know, really held me down in that time. Like, whether that be financially, emotionally, mentally, like, you know. So yeah, basically the situation that ended up happening was that I kind of felt like it was a weird thing. So, okay, let me explain this without getting out of character. I'm gonna explain the story, and then I'm gonna answer the question, because I feel like that makes the most sense. So the situation was that my cousin had a cousin on her side of the family. I have family down there too, you know, in the East Coast, so it's something new to me. But I'm really only close to like a small group of my cousins, and you know, that's just different. So basically the situation was like, this girl, it was weird. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to say it was weird, but it was weird. So yeah, whatever. So my cousin had a cousin basically, and supposedly her reason behind doing it was that one time I got in the car and I didn't say something to her, so she felt the need to take a left field with me. But I had this cousin, quotation cousin, and on social media because I knew she was my cousin's cousin. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you know, like, she's not my cousin, but she's your cousin. You're my cousin. Buzzing. And then it was kind of like a weird situation. I feel like she was pocket watching a lot too. Like, well, you're staying with my cousin, but you have so much money on social media. Like, she was kind of like asking me those kind of questions. And it was kind of like, girl, you is nobody to me to feel comfortable enough to ask me those kind of questions. Like, I feel like even when it came to the people that I was around, I remember like she sent my story to somebody when we went to Diana's birthday. If y'all don't know who Diana is, she's another YouTuber in New York. And our first time meeting was when I went back to New York this last year. Diana does social media. She did social media for a long time. She was doing social media when I was still in middle school and I just graduated high school. So she ended up sending my story to my cousin, was like, how does he know her or something like that? Like, how do I know Diana? Me, if y'all don't know, me, Jaji, and I went to Diana's birthday party in January. So she asked how I knew her, and my cousin was kind of like, oh, like he be around a lot of people. Like, I don't know, like they just be knowing him. So cool. I didn't really look at her sideways when she sent it to me, because I knew Diana is not just nobody, and especially because she was doing YouTube for so long. But yeah, she would like do stuff like that. Like, she would send my story to my cousin. My cousin would screenshot it and send it to me. Be like, oh look, like she swept up. Like, how do you know this person? And yada yada. Like those kind of things. I feel like she was watching face for a long time before she grew the balls to like say anything to me. And keep in mind, like I never like really picked a bone with this girl. Like I never felt like it was static. I was always very sweet. I feel like in that moment that she was talking about, I think I was like literally doing stuff. Like I was kind of on someone. Like I was on something. Like I didn't really like say nothing to her because I was like busy, or you know, I don't even feel the need to explain. If I didn't say hi to you, girl, I don't owe you that. Fuck. More the story being that she took that like reasoning and ran with it. When I say ran with it, ran with it. This girl like got to a point where after this quote unquote time that she had with me or whatever, where she felt like I was being rude to her, she would speak on me, but like very rudely. Like she was talking about my weight, she would talk about my acne, talk about the way I look, yada yada. And it's like, I don't know you from a can of paint. And it was kind of a situation of like, you know, I'm trying to get myself together. Like I don't feel the need to get on social media and run it through with you, because it's like, girl, like I'm trying to get myself together. Like you're sitting here talking about me the whole time I'm in shambles because I didn't get a job at X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I kind of felt. Like I was just like, so. And if y'all know me in real life, like I really get to it. Like if ask and find out. You know, I love me a good little confrontation every once in a while. But in this situation, like I feel like I was trying to get myself together. This is not the time to sit here and play with me. Like I just kind of felt like, girl, so whatever, cool. And like I said, it was a situation where like this girl spoke on me multiple times and I let it go multiple times. Like, so basically the situation was the one that blew it out the water. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing this girl speaking on my weight, my acne, my face, my body, just everything of the above. Like anything she could think of, she was at me, like for no reason. So whatever. I'm in the shower one day. Keep in mind, this exact day, I had just found out I didn't get the job for Polo Ralph Lauren. So I was really upset because this job could have got me a lot more stability than I thought it could. And I was really looking forward to it because I had a family member who worked there. So I was kind of like, yo, if I could get in, I'm good. Like, you know what I'm saying? I could really build off this. That was what I was excited for. I'm in the shower, mind y'all, and my cousin, she calls me 5 times. Like I already kind of knew her schedule at this point. Like it would be a situation where she was on break or she was eating or at this one time, or she was going from this job to another job. Like I knew those kind of hours. So when she's calling me, she called me once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. She called me a lot. So at this point I'm thinking, you know, she needs something or she needs somebody, or she's actually, you know, something's really happening. So boom, I call her back. Like I literally hopped up the shower, like shampoo, so my hair and everything. So I'm like, whatever, like, bro, like, what's going on? You good? Da, da. She's like, yeah, I just called you to tell you that the cousin has said X, Y, and Z about me. So at this point, this is like my 3rd or 4th time hearing that this girl has said something about me, and I let it go. So I'm kind of on hots because I was like, you know, I just went through not getting the job. So now I got built up pressure, like somebody gonna get it. So I remember, like, I literally got off the phone with my mom afterwards, literally crying, because I was like, yo, I'm going through mad stuff right now, and this girl is trying to pick at me, and like I feel like you want to bully somebody, I'm gonna show you a bully. So at this point I'm kind of like, this is not the first time. So at this point I already spoke to my aunt, which was her mom, you know, whatever. Her mom and my mom, they're best friends, and we were raised together. Like literally the struggle, it all, like we were raised together. So I would tell her mom, like, you know, I don't know this girl from a can of paint, and I know that's your niece or your cousin or whatever, but I don't know why she feels so comfortable speaking on me. Like I won't do it to her. My aunt was kind of on some like, oh, she a little girl. Like she was 18 and I was 18, so I didn't see you was a little girl or nothing. But we were a year apart, like school wise. Like she was supposed to graduate the year that I graduated, or the year after me. So, but she was still 18. So, what's up? So my aunt was kind of like, just pay it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not really worth it. Like I know her. Like she just run her mouth, and I'm like, oh, I run my mouth too, but I could back it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? So like I was saying, I kind of paid it for the first few times. At this point, I got the call literally 30 minutes beforehand that I didn't get the job for Ralph Lauren. At this point, I'm about to tweak. I'm about to pop. I got like nothing to my name. I'm like, bro, I'm about to lose it. So when she calls me, I'm like, yo, add us to a call right now. She's like, I will later, yada yada. And I'm also like, like I'm getting to thinking, like, if she's telling you this, like, it's so crazy because my best friends, Jaji and I, had literally brought it to my attention. My mom brought it to my attention. My aunt brought it to my attention. It was like, why does this girl feel so comfortable speaking to your cousin about you? And you're staying with your cousin. And I never pressed the issue because I didn't want to take it there. And I feel like that wasn't a big accusation to throw. But when I got to thinking about it, I'm like, why does this bitch feel so comfortable speaking about me to you? And I live with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it was just very weird. And to each his own. I feel like my cousins on, you know, my mom's side and stuff like that, like, we all put up, like, we do for ourselves, you know, we get money, body see, all that kind of stuff. Y'all already know how that go. So all jokes aside, like I said, me and my cousins will never sit up there and talk about the next person to that extent, to the point where it's like a constant thing. Like, all right, now you just sucking, or like, you know, you just on them, like, get it out your mouth. So that's what I was telling my cousin, like, you don't feel no type of way that your cousin just sitting here, like, literally doing, like, not getting paid to do this, but just sitting here talking about me. Like, I don't know her. Like, I don't know her. So she would just like tell me, oh, like, she be miserable, like, yeah, she be in this basement just like smoking weed all day, whatever, cool. And I was like, oh, like, whatever. So I told my cousin, add us to a 3-way call. I called my aunt and I told her, like, hey, I'm about to give it up to your cousin. That's what she want from me. I'm about to give it to her. Like, that's what you want, I'm gonna give it to you. That's what you want, I'm gonna cook. And my aunt kept telling me, like, my aunt kind of felt bad because, you know, it was her daughter who I was living with, and she was kind of on some, like, I don't know why she's not saying nothing or like stopping the issue or even coming back to tell you, like, I feel like it's messy. And I'm like, right, and I live with you, so it was definitely an awkward situation for me too, but I didn't want to press that, you know what I'm saying? So, like, whatever. We get on this 3-way call, and, you know, I did my 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You know, that's what she wanted. I gave it to her. You know, I cooked as much as I needed to.
I was not thinking of you. Never been thinking of you.
But you have, though, because I'm not even in these conversations and I'm being spoke on, right or wrong. Been having my way, bitch. Are you dumb? Like, I really don't give a fuck. This bum ass little girl, just stop fucking speaking on me. That's the end of.
Let me just say, they was like, oh, she always got something to say. But when I was done with her, she was quiet. That's all I'm gonna say. But in this conversation, she's throwing out that I feel like I'm the main character and I'm not. She's pointing out my acne. She's pointing out, like, oh, your parents do everything for you. Like, I know about you. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's throwing a lot of false accusations. Like, I just kind of felt like you don't know me enough to speak on me. You know me as a follower on social media. So that was a situation. From that situation, I started moving weird with my cousin because I kind of just really got to thinking, like, bro, like, I live with you and you're letting this bitch talk about me. Like, I feel like you're weird. So that's how I saw it. And so my cousin texted me. Like, my cousin fake picked up on the energy too, because she was like, oh, like, she tried to call me personally. I hang up on her because at this point I had a conversation with my mom. My mom was like, I don't like that this girl is talking about you and it's her cousin and you're living with her. Like, something about that's not adding up. So at this point, like I said, I'm in my head heavy. Like, I'm like, damn, like, this bitch is probably talking about me too. So whatever, cool. My cousin calls me, I hang up on her, and then she kind of texts me like, oh, I don't got time for the weird stuff. Like, and she texted me on some like, babe, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm honestly not in the mood. I'm gonna go to sleep. I kid you not, I don't have the screenshots verbatim, but around the same thing. I was like, I'm good. I'm just gonna go to sleep. Like, I'm not feeling it right now, to be honest. And then she was like, you know, one thing I don't play about is like my space and my energy and da-da-da. Like, if you feel like any type of way, like, I'm not dealing with that. Like, she already jumped the gun at this point. And I really feel like that was nothing but the guilty conscience, me personally. But, so yeah, boom, at this point, she's like, yeah, I don't play like that, da-da-da. And I'm like, no, I'm just go to sleep. At this point, her mom and my mom already have spoken about the situation. She also knows about the situation. Her mom kind of got into her behind about it because she was just like, it's weird. What you're doing is weird. It's messy. It's weird. Like, you're too grown to be entertaining doing the back and forth. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are both your cousins. Like, be more adult about it. And then keep in mind, on top of the situation, she kind of had another situation with her sister the day before. So it was just, she was on one. Like, people were just digging her behind like all 3 days. Rightfully so, though. Like, you know, you did something, get a reaction. So, okay, yeah. So then she texted me and she's like, I think it's best if you find somewhere else to stay tonight, whatever, cool. And I was kind of like on some like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, I'm like wasting my cafe con leche. But, you know, I was thrown. And so I texted my cousin. Well, I sent my mom the screenshot of the text and I sent one to my cousin too. Yeah, I don't know my favorite cousin. And I'm going to say this till my chest locks. My favorite cousin is Janisa. Y'all will see her in the other vlog. But y'all probably seen her before. Like, she's always with me. She's the brown girl, big curly hair. So I text my cousin and she kind of like on some, I'm gonna come pick you up. Like, if you want to stay with me, I wish you would have told me so I could get the room together. But if you need to absolutely stay with me, you can stay with me. My aunt, which is her mom, is telling me to come stay with her. I know her house is kind of tight, so I'm like, dang, like, I really don't know what I'm gonna do. So I pack a little night bag or whatever, and I end up, my cousin ends up picking me up to take me to my aunt's house. Basically, like, in this car ride, we're like having this conversation. The first thing she said to me was, she goes, you need to go home. And no, the first thing she said was, I'm not gonna tell you. She goes, I love you. Like, she's like kind of not ranting, but like kind of having like a lot to say. She's on some like, you know, I love you and I only want the best for you. And, you know, at this point, I'm already kind of like choked up with everything that's happening. So like, it was just an instant emotional, you know, an emotional conversation. But she was basically saying to me that, like, you know, she loves that I'm down here now and that I'm so like close and accessible. And, you know, we could do stuff. Like, we would literally, like, she taught me how to grocery shop. Like, she literally taught me how to, you know, just do a lot of the things that I realized that I didn't know how to do. And because, and not in a bad way, I feel like I was sheltered in a lot of things. Like, I didn't know how to grocery shop on a budget. Like, I didn't know how to do certain things that you need to do, how to survive. And like I said, I don't come from just, you know, I don't want to say I come from nothing, but I don't know how to explain that. Let me not say it like that, because I feel like I could get offensive really quick. But there was just a few things that I feel like I didn't know how to do. And as my bigger cousin, like, she took it on as a role to teach me. So she was kind of on some like, I love that you're here, yada yada. She goes, but I only want the best for you. And I'm not gonna lie, this is your 4th, 5th interview that you didn't get. You know, the bank account's running low. Like, you don't have no much stability. The stability that you had was staying with my cousin. And she was like, even that is starting to like really come low. Like, you need to, you know, like, what are we about to do? She goes, you need to call your mom and tell her that you want to go back home and to book you a plane ticket. Like, the stuff is getting way too far. Like, she's damn near kicking you out. Like, you know, so at this point, I'm in tears. Like, she's asking me, like, what's the reason you want to stay so bad? Like, oh my God, like, you know, whatever. We're having just a very genuine conversation. And I told her, like, I just wanted to do something for myself. And I'm crying because I really wanted to do something for myself. And I feel like I couldn't. Like, it really felt like I failed. And even when I came back, even for like months, like, I feel like I can now sit here and say, like, I failed. And I could joke about it. But for a minute, like, I feel like I failed myself. And it hurt really bad. Like, it hurt to myself, if that makes sense. Like, knowing that I wanted to do something for myself and I couldn't do it myself. And, you know, that comes with lack of, you know, preparing for it, or, you know, the way that I went about it was super unprepared as well. So whatever. So I call my mom or whatever. My mom thankfully answers. Like, you know, I feel like she was kind of worried because, like, I was just telling her that kind of stuff. And she's like, if I need to book you a hotel, I will. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm just going to go stay with her family. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just a little argument. But obviously it led me to leave. So boom, like, whatever. I call my mom, I tell her, like, I think I'm ready to come back home. And she's like, you know, asking me all these questions about the situation. And then she's like, you know, I'm gonna book your ticket. By the end of the week, I'm gonna book your ticket. That's what you wanna do? I'm gonna give you to whatever. So I'm like, okay, whatever. At this point, I'm right outside my aunt's house for like an hour. So I'm like, bro, can you just take me back to, you know, my cousin's apartment? Like, I'm just gonna speak to her because, like, you know, I don't want it to be bad blood when I do leave. I'd rather just speak to her. So keep in mind, I'm checking her location, and she was off at 11. Around this time frame, it's like 10:50 something. So I'm like, okay, she's about to be off. She's only like 23 minutes away. So the time she gets back, the time I get back, like, it'll be a very short span of time, and we'll speak. I end up checking her location, and she ends up going to the Bronx. So I'm like, okay, where you going, Miss Ma'am? I end up waiting up for her till like 3, 4 in the morning. I fell asleep at her apartment. And like at the apartment, and I hear like she comes in the room, like she comes in, and the first thing she says is like, what the fuck? And she goes, didn't I tell you? Like, and she's on the phone with somebody, like, I think it was her mom, but she's on the phone and she's kind of like, what? Like, I told him to get out of my apartment and all I asked was for space, da da da. Like, she was on one. Like, I really was like, I don't want to say I was worried because, like, you know, like I said, I didn't really give it up. That's nothing. But like, she was like, you know, spazzing out kind of like on the phone about me. And then she goes into her room, she slams the door, like, she's doing the whole 9. So I'm kind of like, and mind you, I'm awake, like, I'm wide awake, but I'm turning the other way, so I'm like just hearing what she's saying. She's, you know, she's popping it. So I'm like, bro, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just try to speak to her in the morning. And mind you, in the morning we had plans to go with her mom to go grocery shopping. So I'm kind of like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity for all of us to speak, whatever, cool. I wake up in the morning and she's literally packing my stuff from the bathroom. into like my bags. Like she's packing my shampoo, my deodorant. Like she had like glass shelves, and then like I put my stuff in there, and like it was there the whole time. And now all of a sudden it's getting packed up. So, and then also like I was sleeping on an air mattress like in the living room, and she kind of like, as she's doing whatever she's doing, like she's kicking the air mattress. And to this day, like I'm sticking to that because that's why I woke up. Like I woke up because I felt the air mattress moving. So I'm like, bro, I wake up and she has like my little yellow degualr bag. She's like packing it up with my stuff. Like she's just throwing stuff in there. She's not even like really thinking to like what's going in there. She's just tossing stuff in there. I look at her, she leaves. Like she leaves immediately. Like she leaves immediately, whatever. I finally look at my phone and I have like 3 missed calls from my aunt, like 5 from my mom. Like, and keep in mind this time my mom had just started working again. So like her schedule was kind of like from 7 to 5. She can't really speak. So I'm like, what the, like, I'm like, oh my God, like it was literally like 7:40 in the morning. So my aunt calls me and she's like, hey, your other cousin is going to come pick you up. Like you need to get out of there because I could see this going very cyber, going very left very soon. So I was kind of like, you know, I didn't want to go. Like I was upset. Like I was like, damn, we can't even have a conversation. Like the things that we've been through together, we held each other down an X amount of time and we can't even have a conversation about this. Like I really felt betrayed. I felt very hurt. And keep in mind, the reason we're having a problem is because your cousin's the one running her mouth about me and you're my cousin and didn't feel the need to move with no kind of whatever. So whatever, like it was just a lack of accountability as is what I feel like the situation was the lack of accountability. You're too grown to not be able to know that you did wrong in the situation and not feel the need to jump on it. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to say something. So my cousin ended up picking me up. I'm packing my stuff. Whatever. At one point I remember that she had borrowed one of my hoodies for work and it was like a $300 hoodie. And she had took my stuff to work or whatever, and then she didn't tell me that it had like, I don't want to say red cough syrup, but it was like something red, like it was really red, like juice or whatever, and the hoodie was off-white. So I remember when I first told her, like when she wore my hoodies, I was like, hey, like they're really expensive, like you gotta take them to go get, you know, what's the shit called? Like dry cleaned. So just let me know if you dirty one so we could go take it. Because I didn't mind sharing with her. Like I never had a problem sharing with her like perfume, and it was even situations where some of my perfumes were on her shelf. Like it was never like that. Like we didn't go tit for tat. Like it wasn't corny like that. So as I'm leaving, I'm looking for my hoodie. I'm like, where is this one hoodie? So then I text her mom. I'm texting her. She's not answering. She's acting like she's not, like she don't know how to text back. Keep in mind, I kind of felt like, you know, I'm 18 years old. You're 20 something years old. Why are you not communicating where my stuff is? Now I'm starting to get hot. So I finally found my hoodie. She's like, oh, her mom responds to me and is like, oh, she said it's in her laundry basket. And I'm like, why is she not texting me? You're texting me. So I call her. I call my aunt. I'm like, you know, I'm really annoyed because it's like you're literally playing the middleman. And it's like, your daughter is grown. Give her the phone. Tell her to text me. Stop playing with me. Like, that's really how I felt. So she's like, yeah, she said it's in the thing. Go grab it. Do what you need to do so you could go. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I go into the laundry basket. I pulled up my hoodie. It's red. Like it's red. It's dirty. Keep in mind, she told me at this point it's dirty. She didn't tell me that it was red and that it stained my hoodie. So I'm, you know, I'm hot. Like I'm like, bro. So then I call my aunt real quick. I'm like, bro, like why is my hoodie ruined? And she's like, oh, you didn't care beforehand. Like now you're just trying to find stuff to like, you know, to be petty about. I'm like, no, bro. Like this is an expensive hoodie. Like there's stuff on it. Like y'all don't got the money to give it to me. So now I'm hot. Like now I'm really hot. So my other aunt calls me, which is my mom's like biological sister. She's kind of telling me like, I could see that you're getting very upset right now. She's like, I need you to get your stuff before you start doing the most. And I really like the things that I was thinking, y'all. I don't even want to tell y'all what I did, but the things that I was thinking, Lord forgive me. So my other cousin came pick me. He came in there. He got all my stuff, got my luggage, packed it into his car. I stayed with him until my mom came down. At this point, my mom was like, oh, that's another thing. While I was down there, y'all, I had got my wallet stolen. And it was a Louis Vuitton wallet. I got it for myself for graduation. It had, I don't want to say mad bread in there, but it had like some of my rent money in there. And that was another thing. I feel like my mom did so much for me during this time period, as far as financially, just in any situation she could. Like I remember Christmas, and this is where I started getting emotional and stuff. So I'm gonna try to like keep it together, okay? Like there's no need to cry. So I'm trying to talk myself out to not crying. But I remember, like, you know what I'm saying, because like I moved right before my 19th birthday, and even Jada and I will tell y'all, like, you know, my 19th birthday, like I was literally in tears like the whole birthday, because like it felt so cool to like be, you know, in the city and be myself and going to Soho, going to do whatever I want to do. Like I was meeting up with my friends like casually and whatever. But it was like, damn, I don't have my family here. And you know, something like my birthday, like I'm very emotional, especially at the age that I'm at now. And even like then, Like, I was kind of like, damn, like, yeah, I literally had a big old, like, you know, little Chanel bag in front of me, whatever, cool. And I'm going to nice dinners. I'm riding around with Jada and Naya. But it just was, like, very emotional. And I will never forget that Jada had came to the restaurant before everybody else. And she kind of, like, picked up on the vibe that I was, like, sour. Or, like, that I was, like, you know, sad. And, you know, it was my 19th birthday. So she kind of was on some, like, are you good? Da-da-da. And so as soon as she started asking me if I was okay, like, if I needed anything. Like, I literally told her, like, I need a second and go to the bathroom. Like, I'm really about to start crying. Just because, like I said, then again, I had left 3 days beforehand. And my 19th birthday was, you know, during that time frame. And I was very emotional. So... what I was saying with that was, like, even my mom and we had went to the Poconos, which if y'all from the if y'all from up north, y'all know it's like the mountains, like the cabins, like you go and it's like snow and all that kind of stuff. We had went to the Poconos and it was like around Christmas time, and because I wasn't with my parents or anything, they ended up sending gifts over to like the Airbnb that we were staying at. And I didn't get emotional in front of everybody because I kind of knew already because we shared an Amazon account. And I was like, who was this stuff for? Like, I'm about to get upset. So whatever, like, it got sent to the house. More of the story being, like, you know what I'm saying, my mom was always kind of there, and every little situation, like, she's just always just checking up on me. And, like, you know, my grandmother, my mom, all those kind of things, like, they prayed for me throughout the whole thing. And I definitely felt it. Like, there were so many times where I felt like I was like my tank was on E, but it was like there was always something that got me through it. I will never forget it. I was like literally like no money. I was in the city. I didn't want to go like take the public transportation, especially if y'all were in New York at this time, like y'all know that there's people literally getting lit on fire on the subways. And I don't know where I was at. I was deep in the city. Like I was like 4 train rides and 1 something away from like where I needed to be. So I remember I was like, bro, like I might just pay this $40 Uber to the apartment because I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared. And because the fire stuff was fresh, like it was fresh. So that stuff was super fresh. So I got scared or whatever. And then I remember this was a day like I'm like, damn, like I have no money to my name. And I was getting money consistently for like 4 or 5 weeks after I had left. And then it would be situations where if I needed it, my mom would help me. But I knew that it was a situation if I needed it, my mom would send it to me. So I was kind of on some like I didn't like telling her if I needed it because I knew that in some way, some much form, she would do it. Like even if I didn't ask for it, like she would do it if I needed it. Because if realistic, like the way she explained to me was like, you're my baby and you're out there by yourself doing something. And I will say like it's completely different doing it without your parents. Like I will say like going back up north or going back to the East Coast, like without my parents, it felt like a whole different thing. Like all I really had was like Jaji, Naya, my cousin, you know, any family I had up there. And obviously like I had another friend, Alexis. Like my friend Alexis, she's in the military if I don't know. And I feel the need to give her a shout out just because like I feel like she definitely helped me in the mental aspect because, you know, my friend, she went to the military as soon as she turned 18. And she was isolated for X amount of time. And she really like was just there because she kind of knew how that felt. Like she was there for me emotionally, financially. Anytime I needed that girl, like she was just always a phone call away. And I knew that, you know, she was there. So I just want to say thank you. And like I said, I don't want to get emotional. That is not the plan. Okay? Let me take a sip before I get emotional. Take a sip so you don't cry, ho. But what I was saying was like in that time frame, like those are really the only people that I had was like, you know, Jaji and Naya and my cousin Alexis and, you know, other people as well. But I feel like those people, my mom included, just really carried me like in any way, whether it be financially. Like my cousin knew, like my favorite cousin, if she knew I didn't have money but I was stuck at the house all day, like she would pick up on the stuff. Like we used to be on the phone every single day. In the morning we would call each other, afternoon and night. That was the schedule. And she would peep like, oh, if I was home all week and whatever, like, oh, why aren't you going out? And I would be like, oh, I don't have bread. And she would be like, okay, whatever. So Friday would come around, her off day, whatever off day she had. And she would like, you know, I'm going to come pick you up. And she wouldn't tell me what we were doing, but she would take me to restaurants or take me to go see a movie. Or we would have baddie Sundays where we would go over, she would cook, or we'd have takeout and then, you know, baddies. So, you know, what I was saying was like in those situations, even with Jaji and I, y'all think it's like social media stuff, like I was saying beforehand, I don't think they owed me that. And I was just telling Jada that today because I was telling her I'm filming this video. But especially Jada and I, like they didn't owe me like any type of like, I don't want to say, what is it, not loyalty, but as my friends, like, you know, and there was a situation where like I didn't have money to go somewhere and we were all kind of using this like thing as a reason to hang out. Hold on, let me put this up. we were all using this like thing to go out. I was telling him like, oh, I need to get vlog footage, and I'm like, oh my god, like I still don't have a job, like I'm stressing it. I think a lot of, especially during this time, like I feel like I was extra hard on myself, and nobody else was hard on me but me, because I wasn't used to not having any money to my name, or not being able to like be okay, like going to go drop $2,000 on a bag and then come home and know that I have, I don't pay rent, I don't do it. It's a different ball game. Like I definitely will get people that, like, if you live on your own and you're 19, 20 years old, you got it for sure, gangsta. But like I said, it's a different ball game. Jada ended up, there was one situation where I told her like, hey, I don't know if I could come to this, outing because I don't have any money. And, she came together, her and Naya, and they, they covered my tab, literally came and picked me up and everything and dropped me off just to make sure that I knew I was good. Like any reason I couldn't go, they somehow would do it. And what I'm saying with that is like, it's not just social media. Like they didn't owe me that kind of thing. And it wasn't that one time, it was multiple times. If I ever needed somebody to call, if I knew, if I was in any situation, through and through, like I know that if I needed money, if it came down to it, I know that Jada and I would be there. And I knew that, like, and they didn't owe me that. Like that's what I was trying to say, was that we wasn't really like, we was besties, but it wasn't like there was no depth to it. Like we didn't really go through any situations, we didn't really have any hardships. Like now especially, we've been through some joint, like so we married, locked in, getting married in Cancun. And they didn't owe me that kind of loyalty. And that's what I was saying, like I'm very appreciative of that. And it's like social media don't even need to see that. And I'll never forget it. When I was going through a really rough time, I remember I was talking to Jada about it, and she was like, I just want you to remember something. You don't ever owe nobody an explanation as to what's going on in your life. Number two, don't ever look like what you're going through. And she's like, you don't owe nobody an explanation. Because I remember, like, I was like going through it. I'm like, damn, like I've been here for 3 months and I don't have like a part 3 out for this video. And I think I dropped my videos very close in time. Like within the month, I dropped 2 videos, which is the moving series. I was stressing to her like, oh, I need to post something, like, and at this time I'm not getting any jobs, I'm not saving, I'm not getting no bread. Like I'm like, bro. So yeah, whatever. We were having a conversation. I think it was like on the way back from a event. She was just telling me, she's like, you don't owe nobody an explanation as to what you're going on, what you have going on. If you're struggling, whatever, you don't owe nobody that explanation. And that really stuck with me. Like I didn't owe nobody an explanation. And then number 2, never to look like what you were doing, like going through. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I got my lashes done, y'all, like that was a promo. Like if I was getting my nails done, I got them done with Crystal, but I paid like way back. So more the story being like, I just feel like, those people really helped me down in the time frame. Like especially my mom, like she drove 36 hours. They drove there to pick me up and then left the next day. Like she just slept and then we left. And it really was a sour moment because like, I'm going to say F the questions at this point. But, like I feel like there was people who I would have expected to do more about me. And not even money-wise, like, and just emotionally, just as a friend or whatever. And I really just saw who, like, my solid ones were during this time for him. That's Jaji, that's Naya, that's Alexis, that's, my mom, my cousin, Janisa. Like, what I'm saying? Anybody who really had my back through a rough time, because I'm not used to going through these rough patches like that. And I hate to say it, I know that sounds so spoiled, but I'm not. I'm not used to struggling. I'm not used to, like I said, I could go drop my bread and come home and know that I have a bed to sleep in, and I have my vanity, I have my camera, I have my phone, the newest iPads, the newest whatever. But, it was a rough situation for me, and I'm glad that I experienced it because I learned so much from it. I learned to be grateful for the things that, whatever. And I love the fact I could get on camera now, especially, and talk about it and know that I'm up. Like, what I'm saying? Nobody could ever throw this in my face because, number one, I truly believe that God took the situation and put me through it for a reason, no matter what it may be. And I could say, like, I definitely needed to grow from it. I honestly can't tell y'all what the reason was to put me through it, but I definitely feel like I learned from it. I grew from it, and that's all that matters. Like, I can't put a reason as to why I went through X, Y, and Z, but I grew from it. I learned from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm up again. I can get on camera and tell this story confidently, and y'all can't throw it in my face and laugh at me and be like, well, you made a whole series about this and you failed. Like, I really did. I failed miserably, matter of fact. But, what I'm saying? I'm up again. And that was very important to me. Like, coming on here again and having this conversation and knowing that whenever I'm having this conversation, nobody could throw it in my face because, yes, I'm up again. Like, what's up? Like, y'all want to laugh? We could laugh together, So that was the main thing for me, was like, knowing that. So, like I said, in that moment, in this time frame, I learned who my people genuinely were and who I needed to pour more into. And then the people who didn't deserve that from me. Like, there was literally a family member who was 4 hours away and was like my second mom, and was like, I'm saying, I'm telling you that I need X, Y, and Z. And it wasn't even about the money. You could have told me, oh, I didn't have the bread, but we could work. I'll come pick you up and we'll settle down for a second to get you back up. No, it was my mom drove 36 hours back to back, no questions asked. And she's my mom, and plus she owes me that. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it wasn't just the 36 hours. My mom helped me out financially. My mom helped me out anytime I needed it. Interview stuff, you know, whatever. You know, Ubers to my interviews. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to say she didn't owe me that, but she definitely did a lot more than the average mom could or would. So that's what I was trying to say. But how did you feel when I left? When I left, I was really hard on myself. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I remember, like, the first night I came back, I spoke to my father in the back, and I was just telling him, like, I failed myself. Like, I'm just in tears. Like, it was very emotional for me because I left because people were playing with me, and I left also because I wasn't stable also. But that was a cherry on top. But the people that played with me, I still felt the need to, like, you know what's crazy? It's like people literally would do me the worst way, and I will still have so much love for the person that I catch myself praying for them at times, or I, you know, catch myself still speaking life over them, or I still, like, you know, whatever. It literally was a point where I was literally telling God, like, how does she play with me and I'm crying because I miss our friendship? You know what I'm saying? Or I'm crying because I hope they're still okay. And I was telling my mom the other day, like, I remember the situation where, and it's gonna be my next tattoo, and we're gonna talk about it when we get my tattoo. But I was literally praying for God to harden my heart, because I was like, my heart is so big for those who've done me dirty that even now it's like, yeah, I'm gonna pop my shit regardless. You know, guys to know it. But it's still like, I pop it because I'm so mad because I had so much love for you, if that makes sense. So, you know, whatever, cool. But I was really hard on myself when I came back. You know, my parents got me right back together. They brushed me off like it was nothing. You know, I worked for my father, if y'all don't know. Thankful that I'm in a position, or not even me, more so my parents are in a position where they could literally hire me as an employee. And, you know, pay me. It's not like they just give me stuff. I work, y'all. I be in there, y'all. But I asked Naya and Jaja, they were like, you want an appointment for X, Y, and Z? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, they definitely brushed me off, put me back together in due time, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm definitely grateful for God to bring me back to my family, you know, in one piece. You know, I was really out there thugging. I was bugging, bro. I remember Jada and I, when I were like, why are you in Fordham right now? I'm like, yeah, I'm just winging it, literally. I'm making friends with the deli guy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was getting pushed up on every left and right direction, but we had a time indeed. And the last question is, am I going back, and what is my plan / goals for right now? I'm at a point in my life where I don't feel the need to get on here and talk about my goals and things like that. I'd rather just accomplish them and then come back to y'all and be on some, like, yeah, I did it, yeah. Like, that's kind of where I'm at. Only because I feel like me vlogging, I will say, like, that's one of the things I regret, was vlogging everything. And then, you know, when shit went left, I was kind of like, I was embarrassed. Like, I was embarrassed to come on social media and say I failed. And, you know, so many people that were older than me would have had to tell me, like, you know, you're 18 years old. You're gonna fail. You're gonna go through X, Y, and Z. Be glad that you experienced it younger, so now you know moving forward how to move. But I was very hard on myself. I was embarrassed. I was hard on myself. I was, you know, there was so much, like, I was really going through it. As far as the plan, like, my goals and stuff right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm as lost. I'm still, I don't want to say still lost. I'm not lost. I have a direction of what I know what I need to do. I haven't done what I need to do yet, which is why I don't feel the need to speak on it yet. It's more so when I come on here and be like, you know, I did it. Okay, cool. That will just be that, if that makes sense. So, as far as will you go back? Yeah, I'm ready for round 2, to be honest. Like, you feel me? But all jokes aside, yes, I am going back. I don't want to sit here and say that I didn't let the situation, whatever. I think a big part of the reason I was so beat up on myself was because I was like, damn, I can't do this again. But I'm at a point right now where everything I'm doing right now is to go back and do it better, more prepared, on my own, not relying on nobody, and just the best way possible. Like, I'm doing everything I'm doing right now. Let me make that very clear. Everything I'm doing right now is so I could go back to New York and do it to the best of my ability, by myself, financially, whatever. Like I said, I really did it off a whim. But yes, we're still going back. It's still no cap in my rap, and I'm gonna be up there every single time. No, I don't care. Y'all gonna see me there regardless. I just came back to it. But y'all gonna see me there. Like, I'll be in New York back and forth. Like, that's not the problem. My mom had to make me realize that too. She's like, you know, you could visit, right? Like, there's such thing as visiting. And I would be like, I want to move. So yeah, like I was saying, I will be back and forth from New York, back and forth, very casually, very, very consistently, until I do decide to move back. I actually think the next time I go, I have to do some apartment touring. I'm hoping to bring my mom with me, because, you know, by then, like I said, everything I'm doing in this current moment is to go towards New York. So I hope that makes sense. You live, learn, love. And to anybody younger who was watching my series and kind of like, oh, I could do the same thing. No one's saying that you can't. Just please do it to the best of your ability. Do it prepared. Make sure that you have a good group of people. Make sure you have stability. Make sure you have a foundation, and never forget God. And I will never forget when my mom was leaving me. She said, make sure that God is in the middle of everything that you do. And there were so many situations where I would cry myself to sleep because I was missing my, my parents, or I was going through a rough patch, and I just constantly felt God's hand over me and over my life. And that's, that's the power of the prayer from my grandparents, my mom. And this is where I start getting emotional. But like I was saying, like, he really does, like, even in those moments where you feel like he's not there, like, I promise you he is. And again, I just want to take this opportunity to give all glory to God, because I'm here back on my 2 feet because of him, because of my parents. Okay, I'm good. Let me take a sip. Yo, I'm dead. Hold on. I'm good. With that being said, you learn from the mistakes. I really want this video to be more educational than anything. I know y'all probably gonna be dumb tight when y'all get this video before I vlog. The vlog is coming. I'm editing it right now. And I'm also gonna start being more consistent on my channel as well. I feel like I owe that to myself. I'm tired of letting the things that I've been through with people and rough situations where I've been hurt allow it to be the reason why I'm playing on my own potential. So we're gonna take this up again and we're gonna run with it. But yeah, I really want this to be an educational kind of thing. So if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. This is a very vulnerable thing for me to share, obviously, that I went through, and I decided to make a funny little joke out of it. But obviously, I really went through these kind of things. I really hope I'm not leaving anything out. But like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit the DM again. And I just want to say thank you to the people who held me down during this rough time, because without them too, it was kind of like a rough situation. That's Jaji, that's Naya, that's Alexis, it's my mother, that's my family. You know who you are. Family don't mean everybody. That's all I'm gonna say. But we coming here. We good in the hood. We good again, y'all. If y'all was wondering, yes, I have a man now, so that's just gonna be that. I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm just kidding. Or am I? The world will never know. But we logging out for the chat. Just wanted to come in here, y'all, and have this little time with y'all. Peace out, Girl Scout. I'm pretty sure that's a gang sign, but